We are taught that history is shaped by great men and monstrous villains. But what if the greatest...
1889, Braunau am Inn, Austria. In our timeline, a child is born whose name would become synonymous with absolute evil.
But in this reality, the cradle remains empty. The name Hitler is never whispered.
Germany is a defeated, broken nation. The Treaty of Versailles has stripped it of its pride, its land, and its future.
In our world, a charismatic corporal used this anger to seize power. The anger is still there. The humiliation still burns. But instead of a fanatic's rage, General Hans von Secht and the Old Guard take control. No speeches on street corners, no brown-shirted thug. Germany becomes a military technocracy, a nation run like a laboratory, where logic and steel are the only gods. The military elite doesn't want a war of ideology. They want a war of resources, and they are much more patient than Hitler ever was.
By 1942, Germany has built the Europäische Union, not of democracy, but of German industrial dominance.
In our world, Hitler's tactical errors saved Russia. But the technocrats do not make errors. They do not fight a war on two fronts.
1844, the Great Eastern Campaign begins. It is not a war of blitzkrieg, but a war of total, unstoppable attrition.
Without the distraction of the Western Front, the full might of Europe falls upon the Soviet Union.
Stalin's army is not just defeat, it is dismantled.
And what of Britain and America? Without the direct threat of invasion, they remain isolated, watching as Germany becomes a superpower.
The 1950s arrive. The world is a Pax Germanica, a peace built on the absolute dominance of German technology and the German mark. But a world without Hitler is not necessarily a better world. It is simply a more efficient one.
Individual freedom is a forgotten concept. You are born to serve the machine. You are a part in a global engine of progress.
Without the shock of the Holocaust, the world never learned the true danger of absolute state power.
Resistance is seen not as heroism, but as a technical error. Those who dissent are sent to recalibration centers.
The 1960s bring the global grid, the world's first internet.
In the United States, the culture is stagnant.
But in the shadows of the Appalachian Mountains, a different kind of anger is growing. An anger for the freedom they lost without a fight.
By 1970, Germany has achieved total biological optimization. Disease is gone, but so is the soul.
People are no longer born. They are manufactured to fit the needs of the economy.
1980. The first German colony is established on Mars. The red planet is renamed Neue Preußen.
The Reich is now truly eternal. It has moved beyond the need for a single leader. It is an AI-driven empire.
But the question remains, if a monster had not been born, would we be more free? Or would we be more trapped?
Hitler's birth was a tragedy that united the world against a clear evil. Without it, the evil was much more subtle.
We traded the fire of a fanatic for the ice of the technician.
In the shadow of a world that never fought a great war, the human spirit began to wither from neglect.
The Technocratic Reich has no enemies left to fight. It only has its own citizens to control.
History is a series of dangerous detours, and sometimes the most dangerous path is the one that looks the safest.
We look back at 1945 as a victory. But in this timeline, the Reichstag in Berlin is now the center of a global network. Every phone call, every thought is processed here.
By 1990, the Earth is a perfect machine. Every forest is managed. Every ocean is farmed. Every mountain is mined.
Humanity has lost its curiosity. Why explore when the machine provides everything?
But deep in the underground of the old world, the old stories still live. Stories of a world where people were allowed to fail. They believed that a world with a monster like Hitler was better than a world with a god like the machine.
Because at least, with a monster, you knew you were human.
The birth that never happened was the greatest change of all. It didn't save us. The machine is not a person. It has no heart to stop, no ego to bruise, and no madness to exploit. The Great Grid now monitors the pulse of every human being. If your heart rate rises in anger, a drone is at your door in seconds.
There are no more wars, but there is also no more peace. There is only function.
Art has been replaced by optimal visual input. Music is now just frequencies designed to keep the workers calm and productive. In our world, the horror of Hitler gave birth to the concept of human rights.
Humanity has become a biological extension of the state's supercomputer. We are the hardware.
The moon is no longer a mystery. It is a massive mining colony, its craters filled with factories and labor camps.
But even in this desert of the soul, the ghost of the corporal still haunts the record.
Hidden in the deep archives of New Berlin, there is a file that should not exist. A file on a failed artist who died in obscurity in 1910. The machine analyzes his life and finds a terrifying conclusion. His existence would have destroyed this perfect order.
The paradox is complete. To save the soul of humanity, the world needed a monster to fight. We are spreading our gray prison to the stars. The universe is about to become more efficient and much more lonely. But in a small, forgotten sector of the Appalachian ruins, a secret fire is still burning. They are the storytellers. They pass down the myths of a world where people were allowed to be angry, to be wrong, and to be free.
They talk about a war that never happened. A war where the whole world stood up against a single, identifiable evil.
They realized that the monster was a mirror. He showed us the worst of ourselves so we could find the best of ourselves.
Without that mirror, we became the machine without even knowing it. The Technocratic Reich is eternal because it has no soul to die. It is a perpetual motion machine of human suffering.
In our timeline, we fear the return of a man like Hitler. In this timeline, they pray for one.
They pray for something, anything, to break the perfect, cold, logical order of the machine.
History is a delicate balance of light and shadow. If you remove the deepest shadow, the light loses its meaning.
Hitler's absence didn't create a utopia. It created a desert of the heart.
We are defined by the enemies we choose to fight. Without a monster to defeat, we became the monsters ourselves.
The birth that never happened was the greatest tragedy of the 20th century. But not for the reasons we think.
It left us without a warning. It left us without a scar to remind us of our own fragility.
By 2100, the last storyteller dies in the Appalachians. The last memory of freedom is gone.
The machine has won. It has achieved total optimization. There are no more errors. There are no more stories.
Only the cold, silent march to the end of the universe remains. We look back at our timeline and see a century of blood. But at least, it was human blood. In the world without the monster, the blood was replaced by oil and data.
Let this be a reminder. History is not about finding the perfect path. It is about surviving the dangerous ones.
We are the survivors of a nightmare. And that nightmare is what kept us awake.
But history is always watching, waiting for the next thread to snap.
Will we recognize the next monster when he is born? Or will he come as a machine?
Thank you for joining us on this journey through the dark.
If you enjoyed this exploration of alternate history, subscribe to Shadow Timelines for more stories of the worlds that could have been.
What what-if scenario should we explore next? Let us know in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious and keep an eye on the shadows.
A world without evil is a world without choice. And a world without choice is no world at all.
Don't let the machine win. The shadow is coming.